canning up some turkey today on Carrie's Culinary Crafts. We're going to start the canning process. I did not have a full canner worth of turkey, so I pulled out this big gallon jar of dried black beans that I have. If you're going to use the energy and use the canner, you want to make sure that you have it stocked full. So in these other couple quarts, and I believe there's a pint there that's not filled with turkey, I'm just filling it up with some dried black beans. And then I'm going to get some veggie broth from my pantry, homemade veggie stock, and I'm going to fill up these jars. Now you don't have to use vegetable stock or chicken stock or any kinds of stock. You can just use plain water if you'd like. I have a lot of stock and broth because I make it all the time, so therefore I just use it as an extra flavoring in canning up turkey and especially beans, just to give it a little extra flavor. Now I'm taking a paper towel and some white vinegar in order to wipe off the rims before I put any lids on them. We don't want to, you don't want to have anything that's on top of the rims that would stop your lids from sealing, like any fat or grease from the turkey, or if there's anything else that could be on top of that rim to prevent the seal. And as I'm rubbing the vinegar around, I am also feeling to make sure that I don't have any cracks in the jars, because that can also prevent the seal from happening.
I know. Sounds good.
And another thing you want to remember to do prior to putting the lids on is you want to use some kind of utensil, plastic, or I use wooden skewers that I will make sure that I debubble everything, especially like in the turkey, because you can have some air bubbles within your meat. So you want to take a skewer or something to debubble in order to get rid of all that air, so you can have a good seal on your jars. Okay, here I am adding some canning salt. This is definitely something you don't have to do. I just like to do just for a little extra seasoning and flavor. I don't put very much in. I'm using just 1/4 of a teaspoon, and I am putting 1/4 of a teaspoon in each of the pints, and then I will put 2/4 a teaspoon for 1/2 teaspoon into the quart jars. Now I'm going to place new lids on each of the jars and then add rings. And you just want to make sure that you tighten them finger tight, which is just once you hit the resistance of the ring being tight, then just turn it just a little bit more, just like 1 inch, and that is pretty much what I do for finger tight. Now once we get all of our canning rings on, we will be able to put our beans and our turkey into the canner. Now with this, everything is like a cold temperature. Since the turkey was out of the fridge, the water in the canner is cold, and the broth that I put in with the turkey and the beans is also cold. You want to make sure everything is the same temperature, so when you put your jars in the water, there isn't a difference in temperature which could cause the jar to crack or explode. Ask me how I know that. So you want to always make sure that the temperature is always the same. So now I'm adding in all of my jars, and then I will put the lid on and lock the lid, and I will turn the stove on high, and I will bring it up to the point where you will see steam coming out. And once that steam comes out, I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. You want to make sure that you have that steam coming out for 10 solid minutes, and that way that's telling you that your canner is up to pressure, and then that would be the time to put on your weight. And here it is now. You can see the steam coming out of the valve. Now I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. And we're going to let that steam for the 10 solid minutes, and then that way we know that our canner is up to pressure. Now our timer is going off, and now we will add our weight to the canner. And once the weight starts swishing, we always called it the choo-choo, because my son used to always say that it sounded like a choo-choo train. So once it starts swishing back and forth like this, now we're going to set our timer for 90 minutes, or 1 hour and 30 minutes. That is for meat and beans and quart size. Even though there's pint size there, they're also with quart size, so you'll always do the quart size time. So 1 hour and a half later, I will turn off my timer, and I will turn off the stove, and I will remove the canner from the heat, but I will leave it sit there for a good 20 minutes, half hour, till all the pressure has slowly been released. And now I'm taking the weighted gauge off, and you can see that there's no steam coming out. I'm unlocking and opening away from me just in case there's any steam. You don't want to get a steam burn. And then I will use my little grab nabber there and pull everything out. And I will let this sit on my counter untouched until tomorrow. And tomorrow I will come in, I will take the rings off, check all the seals. If something did not seal, I will put the lid, the ring back on it and then stick it in the fridge. But if they have sealed, then I will clean all of my jars. I will mark on the top what they are and the date. And then I will then put them away onto my shelves or into my pantry and enjoy for the many months to come. I hope you enjoyed this episode of canning up some turkey and beans. This is Carrie's Culinary Crafts, and please like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. Thank you.